Hey guys, it is another gorgeous day out here, and I just wanted to stop and share again um, that I'm so excited of who God is, that He is great and greatly to be praised. He is worthy. He is worthy of us praising Him from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same. He is worthy. I'm still in the book of Genesis. I'm at the part where the boys, the brothers, throw their youngest brother Joseph into the pit to sell him. And, it causes all kinds of ruckus and emotional despair, and just downright ungodliness just happens in the story. So the part I want to talk about mostly is what I got out of it, and that is, we must remain in God, and that which is going to fall away will fall away. So Joseph tells his brother his dream. They are jealous of him. They feel it's understandable that they're jealous of him because their dad shows Joseph favor. Joseph is the second to the youngest brother, and yet he's favored. And what child don't want the love of their father? These are 12 fine, healthy young men, and the youngest, one of the youngest, is being favored. So, of course, you got to think their emotions are high. They can't stand him. He doesn't really understand why his dad favored him unless Jacob shared with him, I favor you because you are of the woman that I worked 14 years for. Then he can understand a little bit, but he still doesn't choose to be the favorite. He is the favorite because his dad chose him. So the brothers are, contemplating. They're so angry that they're not thinking clearly, and they decide to kill him. Reuben says, just throw him in this hole and I'll come back for him later, trying to, give him a lesson. But they're not thinking of the consequences of their behavior. They're not even thinking what could possibly happen to Joseph in this hole. They're not thinking how this is going to affect their dad, who loved him so much. They're not thinking about anything but how they feel. And we have to be reminded not to be led by our feelings, because our feelings will lead us into a place, that a dark place that we may not be able to get out of. And we want to continue to press forward to God. Like, keep your eyes on God. I'm saying this, guys. I do it. I have to, because I know that things can happen in my life where it's tangible, it's right there, and I just want to, you know, do what I feel might be the right thing. But if we remain in God, those things that are going to fall away will fall, and that which will remain, which means supposed to be there. But when we get caught up in our feelings, we go into these dark places, and we can be there a long time, and God will allow us to be there, and we also have to deal with those consequences of those choices. So moving forward, while Joseph is in Potiphar's house, now that he's been sold, and he was sold, that was another thing that really gets to me, that his brothers were so into their feelings that they actually sold their brother to into the hands of people who they did not know, didn't care what would happen to him. And I can't imagine how Joseph must have felt. But what I can think that, or identify with, that if it happened to me, like when my brothers or my family or someone do me something wrong, I can't wrap my brain around understanding it at all. But I do know that this God who has come into my heart can help me get through it. So the best thing to do is to rely on him helping me through it. And then being in a place where there's nobody that he know, Joseph got even closer to God. He just kept his faith, and everything he did prospered. And what I love about everything he did prospered is that because God was with him, everything he did prosper, even though Potiphar served an idol god. He saw that the real God was with Joseph, and everything was good in his house, so he put Joseph over his house because he trusted him. It makes me think about the reality right here today, that as long as God is with his children, that wherever we are, even in a dark place, the light will shine, and those who are in the dark can see where the light is. So remain in God, because he is faithful, he is worthy, and he honors his word. And if you're in him, he is going to lift you up. So remain in him. And what I come to think about as I'm in this book too is God's plan cannot be thwarted. It's it's key to remain faithful, for whatever will fall, but that which will remain is to remain. It reminds me of John when Jesus spoke and he said, I am the vine and you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. So think about it when we sin. Whether you steal an apple or an orange or whatever it is, if you steal, you are apart from God for a moment. And we shouldn't want to be apart from God for no amount of time, because when you're apart, you're on your own and you're thinking of, you're just outside of his will, and it just go from one bad thing, one bad decision to another bad decision, another bad action, and it can go on, etc., etc. You understand? So remain in God. And I love that he said you will bear much fruit. There's that word fruit again. We're talking about kindness and love, gentleness, self-control, endurance, patience, all in him. And the other thing that I get out of it, that if we bear much fruit in him, when he bless us, don't forget we serve a God who's a God of plenty. When we are in him, he bless us and he fills us up, and we get to take what he's filled us with and give it to someone else. There is someone who needs that. So when we're blessed, we give the blessing, and it keep on going and filling up. It keep filling that basin, and you're able to pass it on to someone who needs it, because your mind is not so much on you, but it's on what God can do through you, who he is in you. And if you remain in him, and he in you, you will bear much fruit. And apart from him, you can do nothing. I think I said everything I wanted to say on this part of Genesis. And if you're interested in where I'm getting my information or how I'm reading, I go to ACAC, and we're studying right now. It's called 91 Weeks Transformation. I started back a couple years ago, 91 Weeks with Jesus, then 91 Weeks with the Holy Spirit, and that's now 91 Weeks Transformation. And what I see each time I'm studying it, from Genesis to Exodus, from Genesis to Revelation, and then you go all the way, I know it ends, I think, in March or sometime next year, but you learn so much about who God is and how God works through you and through others, and how important it is to stay in him and get drenched in his word, love him, and let his love shine through you. Because wherever his light is, it's going to shine in a dark place and help somebody who's need to see, who's looking, find him through you. So I pray that this bless you, and that if you have something to say, leave a comment. And remember unity too, because when we are unified, God is in the midst, and Jesus prayed for us to be in unity. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.